Welcome to another episode of The Magic in You, the program where we use the art of magic to educate, entertain, and teach important lessons about becoming good young kids. It's a pleasure to be here. My name's Brian, and we're excited to share episode number 5 with you today. And today we're going to talk a little bit about working out problems. I have a program called The Magic of Cooperation where we talk with kids about how we solve problems. We all have problems at some point. Sometimes we don't get along with our friends. Sometimes we don't get along with our brothers and sisters. But we can work out any problem if we remember 3 important points. Number one is we treat each other with respect, whether we agree with the person or not. Number 2, we attack the problem and never the person. And last but not least, you want to work for a win-win solution so everybody feels they're part of the solution and not part of the problem. Now, the other day I was in a school sharing my Magic of Cooperation show, and a little boy in the back said, "Mr. Magician?" I said, "Yes." "I know how to solve all the problems in the world." At first I thought he was joking, but then I thought I better ask because maybe he knows. So I said, "Oh, and how do you do that?" He said, "All we have to do is learn how to read each other's minds." I said, "Read each other's minds?" I said, "I don't think that's going to solve the problems." In fact, if I were to ask you, do you think that if you could read people's minds, that would help eliminate problems? No, I'm not so sure. Sometimes we don't say what we're thinking, right? And sometimes it could cause more problems than it eliminates. But you know what? I've always wanted to read someone's mind. Well, my Aunt Mazie back in Chicago, she's a retired psychic, and she told me how to read someone's mind. And I thought I'd try to do that today. So we have someone here today in our audience who wants to help me out by the name of Taylor. Taylor, you want to come up and help me? Here she comes. Give Taylor a big round of applause. Hi, Taylor.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. So, how old are you?
7.
7. Wow, it seems like just last year you were 6. Okay, here. Stand right over here. This is the amazing Taylor. Okay. Now, Taylor, I'm going to attempt to read your mind, okay?
Okay.
All right. Look straight ahead. Here we go. I'm not getting anything. Your friends don't seem surprised. Okay, make your mind totally blank. Wow, that was fast. Wait a second, I'm getting something now, Taylor. I'm getting a vision. Oh my goodness. I just saw your room. You should clean it. It's an absolute disaster. Ice under the bed where the dust bunnies are. Don't even start. Okay. I tell you, she's too busy thinking about the messy room she has to clean up later on after the show. So we're going to get her to think of something else. And I happen to bring along a big old deck of cards. So Taylor, I'm going to give you a chance to pick one of these cards. And like I've done before in the past, I'm going to show everybody that there's all different cards. Yep, and we can even mix them up. It's hard to shuffle big cards like these. They're a little bit larger, so this is what we call a slop shuffle. We just kind of mix them around like that, all right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fan them out. That's a magician term. That's where we go like this. See, we fan the cards out like that. We call it a fan because you can go like this when you're hot. Yeah. Now what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you hold your hand up in the air about this high. Okay, about that high. Point your finger down. That's good. And then you're going to go like this. You're going to go, and you're going to land on one of the cards. Don't worry, I'll do the sound effects. This is a high-class show. You just have to twirl and land, all right? Okay, here we go. Ready? Here we go. I didn't go, you're early. This is a timing. Okay, try it again. Ready? You're late. Sometimes I'm not. Okay, here we go. Here we go. You missed. Taylor's like, I'm really getting tired of this. Okay, we'll do it. Here. We'll put it on one of the cards. Now Taylor, she was just so disgusted. She said, I don't care. Right there. So I tell you, Taylor, you're going to get a choice. If you want, you don't have to keep your finger there. If you want, you can move your finger to a different card if you'd like. I said you didn't have to move it. Okay, keep your finger there. I'm going to move that card to the top of the deck because that's the one you're touching. And I want you to take this card. I'm going to put it right by your toes, okay? Right there. Good. All right. Now, she could have picked any one of these cards, but she picked this one. Now, this is the cool part. I am now going to attempt to read your mind. But in order for me to read your mind, you have to know what the card is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn away from you. I'm not being rude. But I don't want to see the card. And you're going to reach down, look at the card. Don't let anyone else see it. And then remember what it is. Okay, I'll turn away. Go ahead. Hopefully the cameraman will get in really close. No, I'm just kidding. Did you look at it?
Yes.
Do you know what the card is?
Yes.
Okay, put it back down.
It's
Okay,
down.
it's face down, right?
Yes.
Okay, good, because that would really help a lot if it was face up. Okay, wait, I'm going to try to read your mind. Now, think of the card. Think of the card. Ooh, I got it. Is it a black card?
No.
Wait, I'm getting another impression. I think it's a red card.
Yes, it is.
She says, boy, you're really good. Okay, no, I can read your mind, but I'm having a hard time in the studio. I think it's the lights and that are distracting me. So I'm going to have to use a tool that I brought. Remember I told you about my Aunt Mazie? She told me that I could read minds. All I need to read minds is a pen and a piece of newspaper. No, seriously. She said you just get a piece of newspaper and you fold it up, and then you need one more thing. An actual pair of my Aunt Mazie's mind-reading dentures. What? They're her teeth. Don't worry, she's got 2 pair. Okay, you could say hi to them.
Hi.
I said hi to you. Okay, now this is the idea. The teeth are going to go in the box along with the paper and the pen. Then it'll pick up the pen between its, well, teeth, that's all there is. And then it's going to write down the name of the card you're thinking of. We have any luck? Okay, actually, I'll put these in last. I'll put this in first, and I'll put this in, and I'll put these in because I have to put in, I don't want them to bite my fingers. This is the hardest part of the trick. Okay, here we go. By the way, kids, when you're working out a problem, you shouldn't make fun of people. Here we go. Are you ready? Oh, be quiet. All right. He's going to try to write the name of the card. He's going to do it. Sometimes he has a hard time because the pen rolls around. Go ahead, write. Start writing. What are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Hey! That's not funny. That went from my nose. There's only one thing left to do. I have to reach in there and get the paper. I'm not scared. I'm a little scared. Okay, I'll reach inside. I'm not scared. Don't giggle right then. It's scary. Don't want him to bite them. Ah. I've got it now. All I have to do, Taylor, is open it up and read what they've written, and it'll tell me the card you're standing on right there. Let's see what they wrote. They didn't write anything. They ate the card. They ate the paper. Taylor, they were supposed to write the name of your card. All they did was eat it. I don't know. Wait a minute. Hey. Wait a second, Taylor. It is a card. There's 1, 2 hearts. What card are you standing on?
2 hearts.
The 2 of hearts. Give her a big round of applause. The amazing Taylor. And of course, Taylor, let us not forget Aunt Mazie's mind-reading teeth. Yes. Okay, thanks for helping. You solved it. Oh, be quiet. This is my show. Thanks for helping, Taylor. You did a wonderful job. The amazing Taylor. Cool. I said be quiet. It's my show. Shh. They just keep chattering and chattering. That's another thing to work out conflict. Don't interrupt people like those teeth do. Thank you. All right. All right. Now, stop. Well, you guys, I always like to share a magic trick that you can do at home. Okay, so I'm going to teach you one. Now, we did a brief thing that made quite a mess up here for mind reading, but I'm going to teach you another way to read minds. And so to do this, I brought along a couple of things. I actually brought along a prediction, which is inside this envelope here. And I have 3 objects. I have a telephone, I have a plunger, and my wizard. He doesn't have a name yet. Would someone like to name him? Yes, what name wait, you helped me once before. Let's see. How about this young man? What name would you like to give him? Me? This guy here with the glasses. Oh. The pressure's on. What name should he be given? It will forever be his name. Han. Han? Okay, this is the wizard Han. Okay, there he is, the wizard Han. Now I'm going to get someone up here to help me with this trick, and volunteer number 2 here over here. What is your name? Ben. Ben, good, you didn't change it. Come up here. That would have confused me. Ben, it's a pleasure to meet you. Now I'm going to tell you what, Ben, you are going to help us with this wonderful thing. I have 3 items up here. As I said, I have a plunger, I have my phone, and I have Ham the Wizard. He was just recently named. Okay. Now this is what we're going to do. You're going to select one of these items, and hopefully I have a little prediction over here, and I'm hoping that I predict what you pick. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to look at those 3 things and concentrate on them. Okay? And then I want you to think of 2 of them. Okay? And then go over there and pick them both up, the 2 you're thinking of, whatever 2. Just to pick 2 of those items. He's thinking. You can see the steam coming out of his ears. Go ahead, pick 2 of those items up. Okay. Hold on to those items. You've just eliminated Ham the Wizard. He's very sad. He got a brand new name today, okay? But that's not important. Now what I need you to do is I need you to concentrate on those 2 items. And you're going to hand me one. Which one do you want me to have? Thank you very much. He gave me the plunger. Come on. Well, you could have given me any one of those, but you gave me the plunger. Thank you very much. They're all laughing, but it's not so funny if my prediction matches. Let's see if, in fact, I knew ahead of time that he was going to hand me my... Check it out. It's a barcode. If you were to scan this, it would say plunger. Okay, you're not impressed. See, I figured you wouldn't think it was real because I had this little joke here. But the truth is, I did know that he was going to hand me the plunger. You know how I know? Because on the back, I put plumber's helper. Give him a big round of applause. He deserves it. Thanks for helping, buddy. Super job. I'm very impressed. Okay. Now, the time has come for me to tell you how that works. This is something called a magician's force. You could do this with cards, or you could do it with objects. Today, we use 3 objects. All you need are 3 different objects. It doesn't matter what they are. In this case, I had Ham the Wizard, the plumber's helper, and a phone. You could use any 3. I forgot. I got to get my volunteer back up here. We got to show what we could have possibly done. Now there, you stand right there so they can see the objects. These are the 3 objects. Now remember the first thing I asked him. Do you remember what I said? I said, think of 2 of the objects, right? That's very important to do this trick. He has to think of 2 of the items, okay? So think of 2 of the items. Now pick them up. He left the cell phone this time and he picked up the plumber and the wizard. Now I need him to pick the plumber's helper, don't I? Or I'm not going to be right. So what was the next thing I asked him? After he picked up the 2, I said, give me one, right? I didn't say what I would do with it. I just said, give me one. So give me one. Oh, you've eliminated Ham the Wizard. That leaves the plumber's helper. I was right again. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, but what if he doesn't pick the plumber's helper, right? So let's put him here again. Oh, quiet. This time, pick the wizard and the phone, okay? So he picks the wizard and the phone, and it leaves the plumber's helper. I say, hand those to me. You've eliminated them. No. That leaves the plumber's helper. You see, whatever he does, I work it to be the plumber's helper. If he picks up the 2 other objects that I don't want, I take them and say we're done with them. If he picks up the object I want and one of the other ones, then I have to ask another question and say, give me one. If he gives me the one I want, I say, this is the one you selected. If he gives me the one I don't want, I say, we get rid of that one. That leaves the plumber's helper. See, you can't lose. We manipulate how we do it. And that's part of magic, is knowing those little secret ways to say things. So you don't start off by saying, pick 2 of those things, we'll get rid of them. That won't work. They might pick the thing you want, right? So you got to be careful of that. And another thing that you may want to think about, and this is just a little side note, I have a little brother. Well, he's not so little anymore. He's 40. But he and I, we'd like to do things. And he liked to do things, some things that I didn't like to do, and he'd like to do some things that I didn't want to do. So I used to use this to decide what we would do. I'd write down the 3 activities we want. I say, you get to pick, Mark. pick 2 of those. And he'd pick 2. And then I'd do the same thing, and I'd force the one I want to do so that I get to do it. Just a little tip for you guys who have siblings. Yeah, okay. Let's give my assistant a big round of applause. He deserves it. Thanks for helping. Super job. You guys are great. I had a lot of fun sharing the magic with you. And as you know, sharing the magic with others helps build important character traits for you too, okay? So as I close every episode with, remember, the magic's inside each and every one of you. Find the magic and go share it with others. Thanks so much, and we'll see you at the next episode of The Magic in You. Thank you much, guys. Have a great night.